feature of this test is that the questions are mixed. So you can get a question from reading, and then there's a question from listening, and then there's speaking, and then there's another reading question. So it's not like IELTS or TOEFL that you see sections of reading, and then you move to listening, and then there's speaking. It's not like that. So be prepared. The second thing is that the test is adaptive. What that means is that when you answer questions correctly, then the questions get harder for you. Okay, so if you see the questions are harder and you cannot answer them, don't panic. It's fine. It's because that you're doing good. So the next thing is that everything is in this test are pretty quick, and all the texts are short. You don't see long readings. You don't see long listenings. It's just very short stuff. So you have to be nimble and quick. Just answer, go to the next one. Answer, go to the next one. Remember, if you hit next or skip a section, you cannot go back, and the time is not going to be saved for you. So if you have 10 seconds still in this task, you cannot save this 10 second for the next section. The next section is going to have its own time. So use your time wisely. And the last thing here is that there's a practice test. And well, yes, when you take it several times, you see that some of the questions are repeating, but a lot of them are new. So take it as many times as you can, because that's all you have. There's no other sample test right now. So that's all you got. So take it as many times as possible. But remember that there are some questions in the real test that they are not included. So some type of question that they're not included in the practice test. So be careful that just expect to see a different question. That's fine. The exam rules, there are 5 main rules. The first thing is you need a government ID, like a driver's license or a passport. And the second thing is that you cannot wear a headphone. So you have to use your laptop speaker. And you cannot talk to other people. No one can enter the room while you're taking the test. And you cannot take notes. You cannot use your phone. You cannot use any pen and paper. And finally, you cannot look off the screen. You can't do this. Actually, the test is pretty quick. This is so quick that you can't even do this. You're like, oh, I gotta do this. All right. Now the question type. The first thing that you'll see probably is this question, in which you're given a bunch of words and you're asked if they are real English words. But this one is pretty easy because this is the first one. You see, okay, fun, themselves, photography. These are words, and then you click on them. But some of them are a little more tricky. Like, okay, grash. It sounds like a word kind of thing, but is it a word? I would suggest not to click on the ones that you don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna hit this one because I don't know if it is a thing, or Bosing, I don't know. I don't think this is a word, but it looks like a word. So just don't be tricked. Many of them look like words, but they're actually not words. And then also pay attention to the spelling. Some of them are misspelled. If it's misspelled, you must not click on it. The second type is the same question, but you listen to it and then you check if it is a word. And again, a lot of them sound very much like an actual word, while they're not. Okay, the third type is that there is a paragraph in which there are missing letters from several words, like this. The only thing that you have to be careful about is to skip the ones that you're not sure about. For example, when I was doing this, I said, okay, this is he, for, but I couldn't figure this out. Third, I didn't know what this is until I went through it once and did all of them again. And then I had time to review it, and I came back and I was like, okay, this is a third. But don't get it stuck because you may lose the following ones. The fourth type is that you're given a picture like this, and then you're told to write about it. Okay. Now, you have to write here in this type of question, you have to write at least one complete sentence. If you have time, you can write more. You try to be specific, try to use the best words that you can think of, try to show your English, your lexical resource, your sentence type. Well, you probably don't get to show a lot of sentence type because this is pretty short time and you only have to write one. Probably we can use two. You can write 2 or 3 sentences. But there is another type that this is one of the things that it's not included in the practice test, is that there's a picture and then you have to speak about it. At least I didn't see it in the practice test. You have to speak about it and you're given like 1 to 2, even 3 minutes. So it's a lot of time to speak about a picture. And there you can show your lexical resource. There you can show different sentence type. You can use complex sentences, you can use compound sentences, simple sentences, you can use different tense, and you can just be creative about what the picture shows. For example, in mine, it was a mural on a wall of a very, very old house. Then I started thinking, okay, this is probably in South America because of the way it looks like, and this house is probably blah blah blah, and then started talking. It's 3 minutes. You have to just say stuff. All right, okay, that's about this. And then there are images like this that include one thing. They're usually an animal, like a cat or a cow or fish, and then pretty much all you can say is that, okay, this is a cat, this is a cow. That's all you can say. If you want to be super creative, and you can probably use an adjective there. This is a black cat. You pretty much don't have, or this is a big cow. That's pretty much all you can say. There's not much time for you to describe what this is. That's all you can say. Just sentence that quick. The next type is that you hear a sentence. You'll listen to a sentence and then you type it. And then you only have 3 chances to listen to the sentence. Okay? The first one, try your best to write it. You are going to leave some places blank, that's fine. But try your best to write as much as you can. In the second try to fill up the gaps. Fill in the gaps. Try to fill in the gaps. And the third try, just make sure that everything is correct. If there's an like plural s or anything that you've missed, you make sure that that's done. Next one is that you see a sentence, you should read it aloud and you should record it. Okay, what I did wrong about this one is that I thought that, okay, I have, for example, right now I have 12 seconds. So I can practice 12 seconds, and when I hit record, then it's going to give me more time, well, for obviously recording. That is not the case though. That is all the time you have for preparing and for recording. So you probably don't have the time to read the whole sentence once and then prepare pretty well and then hit the recording and say it. You'll probably get to do that. You're not going to get to do that because sometimes the sentences are long. Okay, the sentences are long. So you just read the sentence quickly or you just skim the sentence quickly and then hit the record and record it. The next one is to answer a written question or a spoken question. But first we talk about a written question because this is a written question, right? And then you read it pretty quick. You have pretty much 20 seconds to read it. And then you hit record. Okay, nope. Then you hit record and then you start recording. It gives you at least 30 seconds, but at most 1 minute and 30 seconds, maybe 2 minutes. It gives you a lot of time to speak, right? But after the first 30 seconds, it lets you to hit next. But you shouldn't do that. You should use your all time. You should use all your time to actually show that you can speak. That's very important, right? So you start describing. The questions are pretty much like TOEFL and IELTS speaking, and in fact that it's something that you can talk about. Like describe your favorite subject in a school. You can like just talk about like history. I don't know, geography, geology, anything. And here, again, you can use your lexical resource. You can use a different variety of sentence type and everything you possibly do. But the problem, I guess, the tricky part when a question is spoken. So you hear a question and you have to speak about it. So this is a part that I found is tricky because I might forget what it was. So as soon as the guy speaks, the guy or lady reads the question, I immediately start to hit record and I start record because I'm afraid that I'm going to forget it. The next type is to respond in writing to a written question. There's a written question, describe something, and start writing. Okay. You have 5 minutes, and then you have to at least write 50 words. So what I suggest is to start typing immediately, just answer to a question. It's probably going to be only one paragraph because it wouldn't make sense. You can probably go like more than like, I don't know, 70, 80. I don't think people can do more than 100. That would be really hard. So it's just going to be one paragraph. And as soon as you answer the question and hit 50 words, I suggest to go back and edit because editing is also very important. I usually have a couple like errors when I write fast. So you don't want to have errors. And the last question is an interview. It's a video interview. It has two parts. There's a speaking part and there's also listening, the writing part. Okay, so speaking part, writing. At each section, you're given with two options to talk about. And then you have 20 seconds to choose from those two options. And then you choose something and then you start writing or you start speaking. In the speaking section, you have 1 minute to 3 minutes. Again, after the first 1 minute, you can submit it. But don't submit it because you want to show your best and speak for the whole 3 minutes about the question and just talk about different aspects of it. Show again your lexical resource or use different variety of sentence types and all that. And about the writing also, you are given 5 minutes and you should write as much as you can. Well, there is a cap for writing. You can write more than 500 words, but I don't think you can get to 500 words in 5 minutes. That would be really tough to do. So again, you show everything you have. Okay, remember that this section, the whole video interview, including the speaking and writing, is not graded. So it's not going to affect your final grade, but it will be sent to the school that you're reporting your score to. So people there are going to see this video and they're going to see that writing. So show your best. Okay. Now we want to hit the last one, and then we want to look at the scoring, which universities accepting Duolingo English test, and what the certificate look like, and how to report your score. I'm going to quickly show that to you. You should use a Chrome or an Opera. And there are two other things that you can use in China that are like Chinese browsers that are famous. But you cannot use, for example, Microsoft Edge. That doesn't work there. Okay. Duolingo English test. You just hit it, Duolingo English test. The first thing comes up, that's Duolingo English test. And I'm logged in. I log out to show you what you see. Okay. This is, if you go here. Okay. This is pretty much what you see. It didn't look, okay, that's like out now. Now for test taker, this is the first one we want to see. We want to take a look at it. Who accepts the test? All right. Now you see hundreds of universities accepting the test, and you are either interested in undergraduate or graduate. I'm interested in graduate, so I hit here. And then I'm interested in universities in Canada that accept that. And I see, okay, there are 11 universities in Canada, and there are a bunch of universities, and then you can hit on each of them and see like what are the minimum score for Duolingo. Okay, so that's how you choose the university. And then how the test is scored and what the score actually means. You can see here what the score actually means is from 10 to 160, but in comparison to TOEFL, for example, if you score, 100, it is equivalent to TOEFL of 86 to 91. Or in IELTS, again, if you score 100, then it's equivalent to IELTS band score of 6. Okay, so that is that. And now I'll log into my account to show you what it actually looks like. This is what you're going to see in your account. You can take this practice test as many times as you can. I told you, I really suggest that. And then as soon as you buy another test or the first test, this becomes available for you. You can use start immediately. And then this is how your test certificate look like? This is the certificate itself. It gives you one score from 10 to 160, and it doesn't give you like each skill, what you score in reading or listening or writing. That's not like that. And then you can send your results like this, and then you can choose a university from here. You can select your university, anything you want, and then, for example, this one, and then you said next, and then if I hit send, it's just gonna go. And I hope you like this video. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel and give us feedback and what kind of videos we can make to help you with the graduate school application.